Welcome back, everybody. So today what I've got for you is quite an interesting little tool. So we built this on live stream. You can check the lives out. We're doing more of them now. So thanks to everybody that came and hang out. Some of them are quite long, and I will be changing the titles and adding some links to the descriptions and so on, so you can actually tell what they are. But essentially what we were doing was having a little hangout, talking about the things that we needed to get done, and then building things. And like I said, one of the things that's come up is the Mochi1 Video Lora training. If you don't want to miss my next video, hit that subscribe button, because YouTube ain't going to tell you. Now, obviously, if you've done Lora training, you know that you need a dataset. A dataset is a section of images and text pairs which contain captions that describe the images. Video training is no different. You have a bunch of properly formatted video segments. In this case, they are 2.5 seconds long, 848 by 640 and 30 frames per second. So what we've done is we've built a webUI, which essentially allows you to drag the video in. Okay, so it's one video at a time, but it'll take long videos, right? And then what it's going to do is when you submit that, it's going to give you eventually a zip file, which when you download it and unzip it, you will find that they are all the correct size, the correct FPS, and the correct duration. Stripped of audio as well, because obviously we don't train audio. It's just the video that we're training. And they'll come with empty caption text files, all right? Now, you're probably thinking, well, hang on a minute, this isn't going to caption it. No, don't worry. We've got you covered. What we're going to give you is a workflow which does exactly that. Now, I'm going to take you through what that workflow actually looks like, okay? And then we'll look at some of the other notes. So we'll just get into it, right? So first of all, what you've got is you have a project name, which you obviously would set to be whatever the data set is that you are training. You give it a custom name. That way, you're not going to be like piling everything into one place. You want to set this to 0. And then you're going to set the queue to the number of videos that you have. So if you have 100 clips, because this is after we've segmented. So obviously they're 2.5 seconds long. There's going to be a lot of clips. So what you do is you put the path to your processed video clips, set this to 0, give it a name, okay? And what it's going to do is going to use my video batch frame, which is a fork of, oh man, I've got to give credit where credit's due. This is based on the was nodes load image batch, okay? And all I've done is I've altered it slightly so that it can A, load videos, because it is exactly the same, and B, is going to output the file name. I think that might have actually been a feature already, I'm not sure, but it's also going to give you the ability to select the frame from the video that's being loaded. So you don't have to load the first frame. You could load, frame 30, for example, all right? And I'm sure this will get more complicated and more powerful later, but for now, this works great. So obviously, that's going to be the video name and then the segment name at the end, .mp4. It'll drop the .mp4, and it'll just write the text file, okay? So then you'll end up with, as I said, you'll end up with a bunch of videos and empty text pairs. That's what you get from using my webUI. And then when you come into this workflow, all you have to do is, as I said, put the path to your data set, which has been processed by the webUI, give it a project name, set it to 0, set the queue to the number of segmented clips. You can obviously count that in the Windows folder. It's pretty simple. It's going to give a preview of the video that it's currently on, but it's not going to save it. You're going to put your trigger token in. Now, mine is a FPV driving data set, which I've just filmed myself driving down the road for a test, okay? And it makes a good prompt as well. I tested it with a different video, image to video model, and it worked well. The prompt is good. Obviously, if you want to make it faster, or if you don't have the memory to run Lava 1 Vision, you can always swap this out for Florence 2. But it will be faster, but it won't be quite as good on the prompt. See, what we're using here is we're using a distilled image to video prompt, which has got two things. It has a token limit of 240. We've also put that there just to be double sure. And I've also put only use a single paragraph. Now, you never know how reliable that is. So always check your captions for multi-lines, because obviously when you train, you can't use multi-line captions. You have to have it all in one paragraph. The token limit is good, but I did notice that occasionally, I mean, I've put that in there since, so it might have solved it, but it's just something to be aware of. It's using my project file path generator so that you can give subdirectories and you can work on lots of data sets and not get them all mixed up. And then essentially what it's going to do is it's going to take the file name, put .text at the end, and use our path. So this is where your captions are going to be. And then it's going to also show you, because the default save text that I used by Python Goss, I'm going to do a pull request because I based my version on his. All mine is the only difference is that mine will create subdirectories, because I think his was made to just save them in the output folder. And obviously we want to be organizing things so that you don't have everything mashed together. So, you know, no shade. I wouldn't have been able to do it without his code. So all I've done is modified it slightly so that it can create subdirectories. So there we go. That's why we're using those two nodes of mine. And then here is the actual prompt. So this would be the caption, which is going to get trained with the clip that has been analyzed by Vision. All right, so it's very straightforward. And then obviously, once you've actually finished making your data set, the captions will obviously be in this location. All you have to do is copy them all and then copy them into your segmented data set, which is the one that we produced here, which is the one that we're loading here. And then you just overwrite, because the file names will be the same. When you drag it in, it'll ask you to overwrite and you just say yes, because the captions were empty. To make it quicker, the processor doesn't caption. It just makes the videos correct for what needs to be trained on a single GPU. Whereas what this is going to do is it's going to do the heavy lifting, right? Now, I did notice this takes about 50 seconds per video when warmed up. So, I mean, your mileage may vary on that. And this is why I say you can always swap this out for Florence. You can get my, let's see. So if we go to the actual project, it's on my GitHub, Mushroom Fleet. If you just scroll down, you can see there's some information on how to set it up. It's pretty much just clone it and run it, clone it and hit the webUI. I think you've got to do install, to be fair. And then it'll ask you to do the input folder, which is where the raw video is, and then it'll do the output folder, which is where you want the process videos to go. And obviously that's what you're going to be loading in here. So I think that that's pretty much explained. Anything else I want to tell you? So you can get the workflow. It's all linked. So, you know, if you go here, you'll notice that there are links, fine-tuning guide. There's links here for the workflow. The fine-tuning guide is work in progress. So I'm going to be updating that. So there might be some mistakes in there, but it is actually based on the official one, which is here. And I've put a link to that in this article. So as you can see, this is my rewritten guide, which is when you see that, if that's gone, I finished rewriting my guide. If that's still there, it might still be a bit sketchy. But the official documents are here. What I try to do is just sort of bring it down to layman's terms so that anybody can do it. And there is some advanced stuff there. So again, that's the GitHub. I've put lots of links everywhere, so you've got a good idea of like where that prompt came from, what I've changed, and then we've got a TLDR at the bottom. So you use the webUI with the video you want to train, and that could be a long video, it's fine. It'll download segmented prepared video clips and so yeah, you download them from the processor, and then you load the videos into my captioner workflow, and then you take those captions and overwrite them in the data set, and that's it, you're done. So what this does is it takes the pain out of making your video data set, because there's quite a lot of work involved in making a video data set. So what we've done is we've automated that to speed the process up. Okay, I think that's just about everything I needed to tell you today. So read the article, it's up on Civit, the link will be in the description of this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.